The experiences bit will be key, and how do we continue working, creating special experiences for us will be important. Next year, the bank will be celebrating the 160th anniversary.
Welcome to Marketing Predictions 2025. I'm Kevin Huang, Chief Operating Officer of the South China Morning Post. Today, I'm joined by Cheuk Shum, Head of Marketing for Wealth and Personal Banking at HSBC Hong Kong. The bank's marketing has had a transformative year with numerous brand, product launches, and various activations. Cheuk, welcome back to the studio again. It's great
Kevin.
to see you.
Thanks for having me.
The last time we were here was about a year ago.
Yep.
And you made a fair bit of predictions that you followed through on. And congratulations on that. It's obvious that you had a very, very busy year. What's been keeping you up at night throughout 2024?
Thanks for having me, Kevin. Indeed, it's been an amazing year for HSBC and the team. We had a number of market first campaigns for Hong Kong. So recently we had the T1 World Champion of Esports doing the live gaming show in Hong Kong. We also recently launched the private banking credit card at the Henderson. We launched the Dr. Tony Leung Client Continuum campaign. And earlier this year we had the Global Investment Summit. So just landing those things right for me and the team, that was keeping us awake at night, but very pleased to see the outcomes of those campaigns and events.
I would say you're extremely adventurous, and kudos to your team too, because not only were they first for HSBCs, you've also chosen to do many of these events at venues that were brand new, including the Henderson, including Club Atard and Central. You know, what prompted you to do that?
I think for us, it's always trying to find the freshness for our customers. And I think Hong Kong people love going to new places, right? So also at the right timing, we have new venues, quality venues in Hong Kong. I think Henderson is one. I think we're one of the first brands to host such a large event there. Club Atard, I think it's been great. Cozy, and great food and vibe. So having those venues have been very timing opportunities for our events. I think customers love being one of the first people to Instagram, being there, right?
Yeah, very impressive indeed. I want to touch on wealth growing at every stage, featuring the now Dr. Tony Leung. Now, I was told that Tony took almost 3 years from the day you guys started talking to him to say yes. How did you develop this campaign? Why did you develop this campaign? Was it worth 3 years of courting, if I may call it that?
Yeah, we always wanted to tell the story of the wealth and personal banking client continuum. I think for HSBC, we are one of the unique key players in Hong Kong where we have a broad spectrum of client segments, from premier to premier elite to private banking. Now, we wanted someone who is the right endorser and spokesperson to tell that story first. I think Tony, of course, good looking, great acting, but I think one of the taglines I really liked from the campaign was homegrown, well known. And I think it's very hard to find someone else who can carry that sort of campaign tagline as well as he can. It was also getting the timing right for Tony and finding his crew, working on the storyboards, and just landing that right. It has not been easy, but we are extremely proud of the reviews and comments and the feedback that we've seen with the launch.
I agree with you. I think Tony Leung is one of the few people in Hong Kong that represents Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And we can proudly say made in Hong Kong that has gone global, just like the bank. But I really love your TV commercial.
Thank you.
In how you were able to show Tony growing up in his acting career on television. I remember that first scene was Police Cadet. Yeah. He was young, he was very junior, and it sort of ended up with him with the TV commercial, but in between his career journey, making it through big screen, Hollywood, and to where he is today. So kudos to you.
Yeah, we were discussing with the agency during the creative process. We were thinking, when we want to tell the story of how he grew up, did we want him to act he was younger, or do we find a younger version of him pretend? And of course, it didn't work out quite well, because how can you find an actor that looks like Tony Leung, right? And then we said, why don't we go back to the archive and footages? So we rang up people, the film industry, TV stations, and try to purchase those footages.
And certainly, I think it resonates with at least people my age, because I grew up
Yeah.
watching Tony Leung
Yeah.
in Police Cadet, and obviously watch most of his films
Yes.
throughout my life and my career. So the internal word you use obviously is continuum
Yep.
campaign, which I think makes a lot of sense, because as we grow up and as we accumulate wealth, or as we go through different life stages, we will obviously have different needs.
Correct.
Cheuk, I want to touch on another major first that you did in Hong Kong in 2024. It's called the HSBC Global Investment Summit. Thank you for the invitation. I was there. I was very, very impressed. In the last couple of weeks, though, there has been a flurry of announcement that has been made in regards to 2025. We're obviously very pleased that HSBC has chosen Hong Kong once again to return and make it the key venue. The dates have been announced, March 25th to 27th.
Yep.
There were a couple of key speakers that were also announced just this week. That includes the former European Central Bank President Mario Draghi, veteran US investor Cathy Wood, and also Alibaba Chairman Joe Tsai. What can we expect that is going to be different this year?
So one change we're going to make based on the feedback last year, we had Rugby 7 and then GIS. So I think some guests maybe overdone the alcohol, so it was hard. But then we'll flip this around. So we'll first have the GIS, and then have fun at the Rugby 7 games.
So work first and play.
Yes. So that's going to one change. We are still working on the speakers lineup, so stay tuned on the SMP to see what the new latest line of speakers will be for next year's event.
You've accomplished a tremendous amount in 2024, a lot. What lessons did this year teach you?
We have always believed that the experiences are key for our customers, because it's all multi-sensory, right? It's not just reading an ad or seeing a video. They need to experience something. So from the GIS, right, from the events that you mentioned at the Batard, at the Henderson, the esports event where we had 5,000 enthusiastic gamers at the Asia World Expo, creating those experiences for us was a key ingredient behind a lot of our campaigns. That is one thing we'll keep doing, just to make sure that we deliver more than just a one-way conversation with our customers.
And how have some of these lessons that you've learned influence, or how will they influence your strategy going into 2025?
Well, like I said, so the experiences bit will be key. And how do we continue working, creating special experiences for us will be important. Next year, the bank will be celebrating the 160th anniversary. So expectations are high. We mentioned about the Rugby 7. That's going to be at the new Kai Tak Stadium.
Correct.
With 50,000, right, up to
Capacity.
50,000 capacity. So a lot more customers and visitors from overseas can enjoy the show. We'll continue to be adventurous as usual, trying to create new different formats and performers and content for Hong Kong.
Can't wait. Cheuk, how would you sum up 2024 in one word?
I think it's going to be change. Yeah, it's probably a boring word, but I think change was probably the key behind 2024. A lot of experimentation. This year has been a good year for us on changing the way that we do things, changing the way that we engage with clients, changing how we do media, for example. I think that has been good learning for the team.
And what would that one word be if you were to predict 2025 would be?
I think next year, our focus will be on partnerships. So we see a lot of opportunity working with different brands in Hong Kong, working with publishers, working with agencies to create more magic for customers. I like to eat, if you follow my Instagram, right? And I think restaurants have been one of the sectors that's been hot hit in Hong Kong. But I also see restaurants also coming together, creating 4-hand or 6-hand experiences, working with overseas chefs.
Correct.
working with different restaurants, Chinese working with Japanese chef working with French chef, and that creating a lot of special, unique experiences for customers and generating demand and business and talkability. So I think for us, it's also trying to replicate some of that. Banking, working with different industries to create something special for our customers.
Is that an open invitation
Of
for
course.
other brands
Please
to
come and
start
speak to-
working with HSBC
Yeah,
and find
please talk to
win-win,
us.
hopefully win-win-win solutions
Yeah.
to everyone's both marketing, customer experience needs,
Definitely.
and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Cheuk, it's that time of the year. You are working on budgets and strategy. There were a lot of learnings. There were a lot of great things that you have done. What is an advice you would give to your fellow marketers who are watching in regards to going into 2025?
Now, I always say this when I get this question, but leave a proportion of your budgets for experimentation, right? 10, 20%. That things that you can lose, right, without hurting, right? For us, maybe Tony is not the best example. Of course, he costs more than 10, 20%. But I think the mindset is to have something that the team is comfortable of losing. But I think the payback, if it works out, is usually very, very handsome returns. So I will apply the same mindset to the team. We always leave a small proportion of budgets that we try new things. If it's 100% of the budget still doing the old thing, I reject that outright. So how do we create that mindset to encourage the team to have a bit more entrepreneurial spirit when it comes to marketing campaigns?
Something different, other bets. But I would never say that it's losing it. I would coin that as a learning experience. And hopefully you know that this thing doesn't work and maybe you shouldn't try it anymore for the years after. But Cheuk, let's be frank. I want to know the secret sauce.
I think for me, it's also people is the biggest asset of the team. I spend a lot of time recruiting and talking to the team because you need the best people to deliver. There's no way I could have done all that within this year just by myself. So I think a great team is crucial. And I think a lot of times we don't hire the right people, right? Think mindset, culturally fitting with the company. So for me, the secret sauce is have the best people on your team.
That is great and sound advice. And I just want to say, Cheuk, and to your team, if they're watching, I personally and my team work with a lot of your teammates, and I would say that they are best in class, and you have spent your time and efforts the right way in building up, a solid team that can help you execute on that vision.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, and there we have Cheuk Shum from HSBC Hong Kong. Thank you for coming in again.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Kevin.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.